My name is Stephen and this is my channel, Heart's Delight Exports. So it's almost time to start planting my garlic. This is one of the bulbs that I got this year. I've actually only have 3 left to separate. The rest of them I've already done. I figured this might be of interest to people. So it's nothing to it. But you'll see in a second why they call it hard-neck garlic. So when I pry against it, the cloves come apart. As you can see, they're very large cloves. Takes up most of the palm of my hand. And usually on these bulbs of garlic, there's 3, sometimes 4 cloves. I'm not sure which one it was that was on there with that, but as you can see, there's 3 cloves on that one. So this is the neck of the garlic. Last year when I planted this guy, I planted a clove. It got shrunk and came into a stalk for the next bulb, and that produced 3 to 4 more. So garlic has a great potential for growth. So what I'm doing now, you can see that this was my bulb of garlic. I dropped the neck into the compost bucket here for it. And I'm just taking off the loose skin. I'm not trying very hard. If it doesn't want to come off, then I don't try to force it too much. I'm just taking off the stuff that's loose because I figure that might rot before the seed will grow. That's not a good thought to my mind. So last one. This one had 3 cloves of garlic. This is 1 clove. That is almost the palm of my hand. That's bigger than a mandarin orange right there. Now this is the big guy that I just harvested, just separated out, and you can see that he's a large fella. Just half a bulb of garlic. If you were buying garlic in the store, that's half your bulb. So what am I going to do with all this garlic? Because, you know, I got a lot of garlic. I planted 30 bulbs, 23 of them grew and actually produced anything. And now I have a lot of garlic. I haven't actually sat down and counted them. $70, $71, 72 cloves of garlic. This is one of the bigger one. He's a nice size, but I also have a few cloves like this that are not so big. Some of it is placement on where the bulb was growing. Maybe the soil was too compacted. Maybe it wasn't the right nutrient mix or the right acid-base balance. I'm not sure. But what does this mean for planting for this year? Well, it's October now, and I need to get these in the ground soon. So what am I going to pick for growing my garlic? I could pick big, medium, or small. For the most part, I want to pick medium or large bulbs, individual cloves of garlic to plant. The bigger the clove, the bigger the bulb when it finally grows up into something. But if I take this guy, or these two, and plant it, that's some huge garlic that's coming up. This is not elephant garlic by intention. When I bought it, I don't think it was listed as elephant garlic. This was bought from a store. This was bought from a wholesale club. So this was regular garlic meant for your kitchen. And I planted it, and I've been growing this stuff from year after year. I've been planting bigger cloves. So some of the ones I started with were little like this, and the next year most of them got at least that big. And now this year, they're this big. So what I'm going to do is pick out mostly medium size, about that big. There will be a lot of the larger ones in there, simply because I don't need this much garlic. Yes, my family will eat a nice bit of garlic into different things. I don't need 72 cloves of garlic for the kitchen. So I'll pick out 30. I think that's going to be my number. And 30 of the nice, good cloves, medium to large size cloves. And those are the ones I'm going to plant. And everything else will get brought up into the kitchen. I'll take the skins off of them. I'll take the roots, the root base off of them. And I'll put it in a food processor with a bit of oil, and I'll blend it down. Last year when I did this, I didn't have as many cloves, and I filled a nice little mason jar full of minced garlic and oil, and it was only about 2 weeks ago that I finished it off. So there's quite a lot of garlic to be had that way. It's very easy to grow. Once I put these cloves in the ground, pretty much done. I don't have to worry about them until I pull them up again next summer. But I've been planting and replanting cloves from garlic that I've grown for about the last 4 years. So now that it's time to plant for this year, I'm taking note of a few different things. Number one is that my soil is still rather heavily clay. I've been constantly mixing in peat moss and compost, manure, leaves, and letting it all rot through over the winter. That's done a large amount of good, but my soil is still not the greatest for everything. Garlic likes nice loose soil for the most part. Some compaction is okay, but it doesn't, if it's too heavily compacted, then it'll form in around the clove, and the clove won't be able to push out to make a bulb. So you need to be careful for that. Spacing is the next thing. Most videos that I've seen have suggested about 6 inches of space, and for the most part that's proven correct for all the garlic that I've planted. Now the other thing for me is the location in my garden. Garlic is going to be the first thing that pops up once the snow goes in the spring, and I need to be careful of where I plant it so that it's not going to be interfered with when I go to plant everything else come the spring. So I'm starting by planting here on the outer edge of the garden because I have a pathway now done a bit differently that'll be able to get me around it. So the garlic goes in. This is the root side. This is the top side where they're joined into the neck of the clove. So it's important to place it the right way up. I've dug up this trench, and I've actually gone back with the driftwood pitchfork and loosened up the soil a bit to make sure that I haven't got too much large compacted clumps of soil, clay soil in particular. keep an eye out for rocks like this that might hinder the growth once the time comes. I also want to make sure not to bury the top until I've actually got the whole row done, so I can make sure that I'm keeping my spacing. Okay, so that's the garlic all planted for this year. I have 40 cloves in. Let's hope I get at least 30 of them come up in the spring. That could be over 100 cloves next summer. That would be very, very nice. Now there is a couple other things I have to plant. That's 6 tulips for that barrel. Now I have some alliums. Now it's some muscari. This one has an extra. This one has a little extra bulb coming off it. Curious to see if that'll grow. I've done some winterizing for the chickens. As you can see, I've winterized the chicken coop a little bit. This lattice work is there to hopefully fend off some of the wind and snow during the winter. I don't know how well it'll do, but I had it, so I figured why not. And of course, while I had the video paused and was planting the garlic, I stopped to feed the chickens some worms. So this is the end of another video for Hearts Delight Exports. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you come back to see me again sometime soon. And here's a question for you. Should I be asking you guys to subscribe and like and thumbs up the video and all that stuff? Does anybody actually listen to that kind of thing? I know when I'm watching YouTube videos, I don't pay much attention to that kind of thing. Either I like the channel and I subscribe, or I don't. Something for me to think about, maybe. You have a good day. This is Hearts Delight Exports, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye now. I dropped them.